And right now you're taking a live look at the White House. President Biden addressed today's Highland Park 4th of July parade mass shooting. The president spoke while hosting military families at the White House today. NewsNation's Evan Lambert, he joins us live right now in Washington, D.C. Evan, what did the president have to say?
Well, Kelsey, he tied it to recent gun reform legislation that the president signed, bipartisan legislation that essentially would tighten background checks for people under 21, also give more money to states to encourage red flag laws, so to try to limit the access of people who should not have weapons temporarily to keep them out of their hands. We want to show you a little bit of the president talking about the shooting at this speech today.
Before I left for Europe, I signed a law, the first real gun safety law in 30 years. And things will get better still, but not without more hard work together. You all heard what happened. You all heard what happened today. But each day we're reminded there's nothing guaranteed about our democracy. Nothing guaranteed about our way of life. We have to fight for it, defend it, and earn it by voting.
And the president did say in an earlier statement that he was sending federal help in that search for the suspected shooter. Obviously, we've been telling you that authorities did identify a person of interest, but we know that the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, they have resources working in that search for the possible shooter at this point. Also, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, that would be the lead agency that would be tracing the weapon that was left behind to try to tie that to the possible shooter. That may be one of the ways that they came up with a name here, and then they would investigate how someone obtains a weapon. Was it purchased legally? Things like that. Also, this is all happening as there are huge preparations underway here in the nation's capital tonight for a major celebration of the 4th of July. You have a concert. You also have fireworks over the National Mall. Thousands of people expected for that. The D.C. police saying that they are plugging into what is going on in Illinois. They're monitoring the situation and making sure that all the resources are available to them to ensure that the events here in Washington happen safely, happen without a hitch, rather. And we also want to direct you to some recent warnings from the Department of Homeland Security that the threat environment had been increased. This came out at the beginning of June, this warning from DHS saying that a threat environment is increased, especially when it is tied to violent extremism, extreme ideologies as well. Again, though, at this point, we do not know the motive of the shooter here, but that's obviously something that investigators are going to be going through. We might get a better idea if this speaks to some of that warning from the Department of Homeland Security. Also, we should note that Vice President Kamala Harris is expected in the Chicago area tomorrow. That was previously scheduled, and it is an unrelated event to the shooting. So it's unclear if she will visit the site or if President Biden himself will head to Illinois in light of the shooting there. Kelsey?
Okay, Evan. Well, we're also following this breaking news. We will be following it for the rest of the hour tonight.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.